Greetings, Johnny Matthews, and yes, we are still here at the MJ BizCon in Las Vegas, and I'm with another great exhibitor who has a grow box. The name of the company is called Cloudponics, and the co-founder's name is Nicholas Ruiz. He is from Chile. Hi, Nicholas. Thanks for being a part of Cannabis Talk Show Live.
Hey, Johnny. Thank you for the opportunity.
Nicholas, if you will, tell our listeners about the grow box that you have developed, and tell us of all the can-amazing things that it will provide for that novelist cannabis grower, cultivator.
Right. So we have the grow box, which is essentially a unit the size of a fridge, right, which grows cannabis inside. But the interesting thing is that it's fully automated. So it does the dosing of nutrients, it balances the pH, controls the ambient temperature and humidity. It pretty much does it all. And it has allowed users who've never grown before to be able to grow up to between 12 and 16 ounces every 3 months of prime quality cannabis.
Okay. And what is the turnaround of most of the plants? And how many plants can you actually grow in your grow box? Do you have different sizes?
Right, yeah. So we just have the one size grow box. You can grow between 1 and 6 plants at any given time. And it really depends on the strain, but for the most part, it's between 3 to 4 months from seed to harvest.
Nice. And tell us a little bit about the makeup, the development of this product.
Sure.
Because you're an engineer, correct?
Yeah, I am an engineer, but my true passion has been cannabis for quite some time now. I've been growing for over 12 years. I went straight into growing with hydroponics, which is a very technical way to grow. It has many advantages over growing with soil. You know, you can get better quality, bigger yields, up to 30% more yield in less time. So it's got great advantages, but it also has one big problem, which is if you're not on it pretty much 24/7, things can go wrong really fast. And like I would go away on the weekends, come back 2 to 3 days later, and my plants would be dead just because the pH went off the optimal range. So yeah, I killed so many plants over this learning process that I got really frustrated, right? And that frustration really fueled my passion to look for something that was automated and that would help me be able to go away on a vacation and come back and not have my plies die. So I spent about a month just researching on the internet to see what was out there, and this was early 2012 when I started with the idea, and there was absolutely nothing even remotely close to what I needed. So that's when I started to think about how this would work. And while I was doing that over the weekends, not as anything really serious, I started talking to my good friend Pepijn, who's a Dutch friend who lives in Chile as well, and he was also interested in hydroponics. We were both kind of not that happy with our day job, so we decided to start this new company. Like that was 2014.
Great. And of course, cannabis is not legal yet in Chile.
Right.
Explain to our listeners how you were awarded a Cannamazing grant in order to start your project.
Yeah. So in Chile, there's a program that's called Startup Chile. It's a government finance program where essentially they bring startups from all over the world, not just from Chile. They bring them to Santiago. They do like a crash course on startup for 6 months. They give you $40,000 and they have to help you like start with your company. And when we applied to that, we of course did not mention cannabis, not because we were sneaky, but because we were actually thinking that cannabis was a bit too early. This was 2014. We thought it was a bit too early. We didn't want to get into trouble, so we said let's do something for lettuces and tomatoes, and then down the road, if it ever becomes legal, we have the technology. We just swap the seed and we're good to go. But like 1 week into the program, we just talked to our executives, right, and from the government, and we told them, hey, we looked at the numbers, and it's like it seems like it's really interesting to look at cannabis space, specifically in the U.S. where it's legal. And we thought they were going to tell us, no way, we're going to allow this. But they actually just look at each other and they're like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. And then one of them said, like, and you know what, I want to have one of the first prototypes, because he happened to be a cannabis consumer as well. So then we just changed all of our pitch and we started, developing this for cannabis. And then we won a second award for $100,000 on top of the $40,000. So it's always important for me to mention, if it weren't for that, for the Startup Chile program, we would probably never, started this company.
Wow, now that is amazing.
Yeah.
Nicholas, let's talk about your family, because you're a family man.
Yeah.
You have an adult child,
I do.
2 girls, a 21-year-old and a 5-year-old.
That's right.
So how does your 21-year-old feel about daddy being in the cannabis industry, and how has that worked out for you? Because I think it's very important for people to know that people in the cannabis industry, we're everyday people too. We have families, we have concerns, and of course our kids are our number one priority.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, and I thank you for the question, because it's really important, I think, to humanize and just show everyone who has all these prejudices about cannabis consumers that we're not. I mean, some are pretty lazy for sure, right? But not all of us, right? There's a lot of high functioning people, really intelligent people around. Yes. That they can consume cannabis every day, and even, some of them even all day, and they are perfectly fine, right? So, well, I've been a daily smoker for 50 years now. So my 21-year-old, she's always known that I've been a smoker, right? I've been pretty transparent about it, but I've always said, if you're ever going to try it, I would like you to try with me, so I can walk you through this. And hopefully she would. I was hoping that she wouldn't try it when she was really young. So just wait. I mean, I think it's better if you wait. If you can wait until you're 18, and she actually did. She did not smoke at all. Nice. Until she was 18, and on her 18th birthday, we had a first joint. And funny thing is, she liked it a little bit, but she went on for 2 years without smoking at all. And now she's started to smoke a little bit more with me. But it's not even an issue. I mean, it's funny. All of her friends, of course, know because all of her friends do smoke, right? And they just think I'm the coolest dad ever. So yes. It's almost lame for her. Everybody's asking her about her dad, and she's like, well, I'm having my story as well, right? So it's funny, but so we've got all these kids going to my home for parties and stuff, and I'm like the one dad who's actually providing them with some buds here and there, for them to have a good time. I don't, of course, don't care about that.
And of course, to be responsible.
As long as they're adults and they're being responsible.
Exactly.
And I used to drink a lot when I was younger, and I stopped drinking.
Great.
And for me, it's a way better drug for sure. So that's my drug of choice. And with my kids, she doesn't drink that much. And I always say I would rather you get stoned than get super drunk, right? Because you're gonna do more things that you're gonna regret if you're drunk.
Well, Nicholas, not get stoned, get elevated.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's the 21-year-old.
Poor choice of words.
What about your 5-year-old? She's actually growing up, knowing that this is what Daddy does, and so I think it's ultimately important for you to sort of explain things to her the right way when she has questions. How do you handle that situation, you and your wife?
Well, she's at that point where she's still too little to really it's normal for her. She doesn't have this idea that it's something that could be wrong, so she's just She knows that her dad plants. He has those flowers, the beautiful green plants. She has no idea that half of the world hates it or whatever. It's just a plant for her. And then she knows that I use that plant like every night, and I just become more chill and more fun to be around.
Dad smokes the plants.
I vape. I vaporize.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah. So she, like, up to now, it hasn't been an issue at all. And my wife was really worried about, like, she just got into school. It's her first year in kindergarten, and like, my wife was really worried. But like, once you tell people what you do, 90% of the people just like they go all out. I smoke too, and like, they just think it's the coolest thing. So, I mean, there's a couple people here and there, or parents that are, they're gonna look at you weird, but you can't make everybody happy. And as long as the majority is with you, and they're actually cannabis consumers as well, I think we're a pretty good place.
All right. Well, we'll leave that subject alone. Let's just focus on Cloudponics,
sure.
And it's great to hear about this product. Let our listeners know how they can contact you regarding this amazing grow box. And do you guys ship there, or how would they receive the grow box?
Yeah, so if you go to cloudponics.com, you can buy directly from us. The price for the grow box is $26.90, but we currently have a $420 off promotion that we're going to have all the way through here, from here to Christmas. So, and right now we have about a 6-week lead time before we can ship, because we have a significant backlog. We've got a lot of orders towards the end of the year, so we're keeping up. So right now it's between 4 and 6 weeks before we can deliver. But we just take an initial $490 deposit, and then once we're ready to ship, we charge the rest.
Amazing. Well, listeners, you have heard it from Mr. Nicholas Ruiz of Cloudponics. Check it out. Cloudponics.com?
Yeah, that's right.
www.cloudponics.com. I'm Johnny Matthews, Cannabis Talk Show Live. We are reporting live and direct from the MJ BizCon in Las Vegas, and we are out. Thank you, Nicholas, for being a part of Cannabis Talk Show Live.
For sure.